Good morning. It's Thursday, 20th of February. It's coming up to 2 o'clock. There's been sunshine and showers. The temperature's about 12 centigrade. And if you're coming to Enniskillen, check out Leslie's homemade paninis and this cafe here. It's absolutely, and it's a bakery as well. Absolutely fantastic. And there we go, Leslie's. And this is us, and we're just down below St Macartan's Church of Ireland, and there's a big exhibition on here called The Longest Yarn, and it has 3D depictions of 80 separate selections, pictures from the Second World War, between the D-Day landings. The exhibition covers the time between the D-Day landings and 80 days later there was the liberation of Paris. So we're going up to have a wee look at this, and this exhibition is on until the 28th of February. So if you want to get down here to see it, you've really got to move fast. This church here has been up since 1825. Originally replaced one built in 1627. It's the St Macartan's Cathedral, and it stands opposite the Roman Catholic Cathedral on the other side of the road. So you get two for the price of one. That's an imposing building as well. It's called The Longest Yarn after the film The Longest Day. Crafted depictions of scenes from World War II film The Longest Day. Open daily 10 through to 4 o'clock and open to the 20th. So this will be moving on to various other locations around the UK, and indeed I believe it's heading to America as well. The Rector Dean is the Very Reverend Kenneth R.J. Hall. Who welcomed Queen Elizabeth II, accompanied by Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, attended her Diamond Jubilee service at the Cathedral in 2012.
I'm not so bad. You want to say the timesheets now or anything? No. No.
So all these have been knit, you know, from photographs, folks, by
Yes.
people from all over the world: New Zealand, Canada, America,
France.
Europe, France, you name it. Cork, a lady down there, second last boxers over there, she learned to knit to get doing her.
And
She came up here. She came up here on the 10th of January for a couple of days. Stayed, we got set up and all. Got the old hairdryer out and. I'm not sure which of the last ones. But she learned to knit to do her display. Yeah. There's a very good book on it now. It costs £10.
Rommel in the Rose Garden, Chateau La Roche Gaillon, 40 miles north of Paris. The shoes he bought for his wife's birthday present are under his arm. Wow, what attention to detail. So that's supposed to be Rommel. The weather is bad, so his adjutant tells him. D-Day was delayed by a weather forecast. And this whole exhibition was coordinated and initiated by a lady called Tansy Forster. And she's originally from Macartan, but now living in Normandy. And she had this idea to recreate 3D pictures of scenes from when the Allies landed on D-Day to the liberation of Paris 80 days later. So that's why there's 80 exhibits. And these have been put together, knitted and crocheted, and great detail expended on them to celebrate 80 years from D-Day. I'm not too bad. You're a Reverend Hall.
I am indeed.
And you invited this exhibition here.
I did. Yes.
And how did you ever hear about it?
Well, it was coming up through the cathedrals in England.
Right.
And then I just rang them and asked them.
But that was very, very creative of you to do that.
It cost a lot of money to move it from one cathedral to the other, about £1,000. But I had the Irish Sea to pay for, and I had to pay for the sailing over and back. But it's certainly been worth it because it's brought thousands of people in here. There's about, up to last Sunday, there's about 16,000 people already through the doors.
Wow.
And over 75% of them have travelled over 50 miles, and over 50% have travelled over 100 miles.
Wow. Wow. Who's the longest person, the furthest person?
Cork.
From Cork?
Cork. There's two people from Cork. There's a few people from South Kerry, Wicklow. Those are probably the farthest away.
And Tansy Forster had the initial idea, as I say, to put this all together. And she went on Facebook and saw what replies she got. And then she collected photographs, she did research, she designed, she put it all together. And she says that for 18 months, she worked 7 days a week, 18 hours a day to get this all together, and the logistics of doing so were just absolutely amazing. And apparently this is going to America, and they are giving a free flight.
By British Airways.
By who?
American Airways.
American Airways have been kind enough to give a free flight to transport all this. You can imagine the amount of money that would be required to transport this if you were paying for it yourself. And that was very kind of American Airways. So if you're travelling to America, use them. And there's the soldiers marching off to war. And Reverend Hall was smart enough to invite the exhibition here, and it came here gladly because Enniskillen is the only small town in Northern Ireland that had two regiments. We're talking about the Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers and the Royal Enniskillen Dragoon Guards. And the casualties that those boys suffered in the First World War and the Second World War was just amazing, and it's very, very appropriate and very, very fitting that the exhibition has come here. There's loading paratroopers on airfields in the south coast of England. Beach defence is known as the Atlantic Wall.
That's the next trophy for the next stand.
And there's a military camp with all the tents up.
That's your man.
He's sitting learning his French.
He's sitting learning his French. Isn't that great? And there's the American forces landing from one of their landing crafts. That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? No, I haven't done it here. I know.
See the length of these are the big cases they're carrying.
And there's a submarine. Boredom on the ships is mentioned. And there they all are. It was good being able to talk.
You have to follow.
Oh, follow the numbers. Let's go. The Eisenhower decision, the invasion finally goes, and the invasion started off actually from the Eisenhower Pier in Bangor, County Down. But a lot of people don't know that. And Eisenhower was on that pier giving the salute to the American forces and then the British forces that had congregated there in various ships. And here's Rupert and the clickers. The distraction dummy parachutes were dropped to cause chaos. Note the clicker too. And this is how they identified each other. They clicked from behind the walls, and you saw that on the Longest Day film as well. Pathfinders checking each other's parachutes. The first to go. Different messages were broadcast to alert the resistance in France, and one of the messages was, Jean has a long moustache. John has a long, oh no, John has a long, Jean, has a long moustache. Look at that. And as you can imagine, hundreds of volunteers from all over the world, and especially UK, Northern Ireland, France, Australia, New Zealand, America, hundreds of volunteer knitters and crocheters have been roped into this.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't it brilliant?
The vehicles
Look at the back.
and with all the white
And the
shit.
vehicles and with all the words. Look, they've even got the vegetables. Aircraft as far as the eye can see. Different. There's a different kind of bomber there. And here's some of the ships. Look at this. Ships in convoy. This is remarkable. Parachutes dropping in the dark. You know, it's difficult enough to parachute out of a plane, but these boys were doing it for the first time, many of them, and they were parachuting in the dark. Pegasus Bridge coming into land. So that shows a glider being towed, and they would ditch the glider, and the glider would land at the bridge. And the losses were colossal, as you can imagine. Pegasus Bridge, the battle. Resistance blowing up a train. The total exhibition, if it's put together end to end, I believe stretches 80 metres. 80 years since D-Day, of course. The tapestry was first unveiled in Notre Dame in the cathedral, and it will go to America, as I said. and it will return to Caraton in France. And I believe the local mayor at that town has built a museum ready for it. St Macartan Église. Townsfolk out at gunpoint by the Germans with parachutes from 82 and 101 coming down. Look at the fire. Look at the fire. Wow. Right, we're going down this way. And there's a German bunker overlooking the invasion beach, or one of the invasion beaches. Parachutes everywhere in the cow field. This is just remarkable. Operation Neptune, the ships opened fire. The ships opened fire. 8,000 local people just on the Cherbourg Peninsula lose their lives. And they were caught in the crossfire. Omaha Beach Landing. Omaha Beach, Corporal Woodson saves hundreds of lives. And these 3D pictures depict actual events and actual people. There's the boys getting out of the landing craft at Utah Beach. This is the USS Texas opening fire. This is just remarkable. And this is Juno Beach. Note the dispatch rider. This is Donald Shepherd, aged 102. This 80th anniversary. The first year he couldn't come to Normandy, we made sure he did. Where's the dispatch rider? Can't see him. Oh, there he is. There he is there. Wow. And this is Gold Beach.
But I just appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it. You see the like of that there.
Mulberry Harbour, and these are the Mulberry Harbours that were towed into place. And this is Sword Beach. Piper Millen jumps off his landing craft. His kilt comes up like a tutu knitted from Bill's favourite jumper. The detail here is outstanding. Let's see if I'm doing all these in order. That's 44. And these exhibits are all nestled in historical artifacts. This one is a banner from the Royal Enniskillen Dragoon Guards. This one is the Mayor of Colville greets the troops. Soldiers in foxholes on the beaches. And all these big containers have been sponsored by different organisations, people and companies and all the rest of it. Point de Hoc. Rangers who trained in UK and Northern Ireland used London Fire Brigade ladders as they were the longest ones available to get up to these pillboxes. And the American Rangers, of course, were first inaugurated by Derby at Carrickfergus, and not an awful lot of people know that. And we, Northern Ireland, hosted 300,000 American troops as they came through and got themselves ready to head off to D-Day. The only VC won on D-Day by Stanley Hollis, who landed at Gold Beach. And there he's capturing a load of Germans, and they've got their hands up. Snipers in the church tower. Every church had a sniper. Virtually every church lost its tower on D-Day because they were shelled or whatever, or shot to pieces. The 47 Commando Royal Marines land on Gold Beach, and of course there was massive casualties. Look at the boys all getting through the water there. Free French taking Osterum. Kiefer and his Free French commandos stormed the town. They trained in Creech, Wales. Nuns appearing at Ostrom. Nuns appearing to help the wounded, taken from a scene in the movie The Longest Day. And we're at number 53. Van der Voort, with broken ankle on an ammo cart, gets into St Macartan Église. John Wayne played Van der Voort. That's number 54. So 55. Wonder. The horses and the liberation of St Macartan Église. Omaha Beach, into the jaws of death, and as I said earlier, the casualties were just unbelievable. Equipment pouring onto the beaches, and of course these are armoured bulldozers. There's an ammunition box that the boy has open there. Journalists. The only woman to come ashore on the 6th of June was Martha, the wife of Ernest Hemingway. She disguised herself. Note the pigeon. I didn't know that at all. Where's the pigeon? I don't see the pigeon. Can you see the pigeon? Oh, there's the pigeon sitting on the top of the...
There's not a pigeon on top of that one as well. Oh, there's it there.
There's it there. Harry Kukowitz signals landing on Utah Beach, 6th of June. In the third wave, he went right through to Bastogne. Harry is the reason this whole project started. There's a story in there, and I obviously don't know it, but there you go. And there's them connecting the telegraph wires. We're at number 59. The big guns of Brecourt Manor. This battle is still textbook in military schools and colleges. take it that these are German troops. Sponsored by Battlefield Tours. Dead Man's Corner, the crossroads from Utah Beach leading to down to Carantan, where Lieutenant was killed and hanging out of a Stuart tank. And Carantan is where the exhibition will come to rest in a museum built by the mayor. Angoville au Plein. This tiny village with population of 80 people, the church becomes the first aid post on the 6th of June, coming from Utah Beach. Bloodstains to this day are seen on the pews. Isn't that unbelievable? I mean, this is grim. So that's number 62. And we're looking for 63. This is 63. Gliders everywhere, the cows just carry on. Littered with gliders. Soldiers start coming into Saint-Marie-du-Mont from Utah Beach. While the parachutists have already liberated the village, the first village was liberated here in June 6th.
65 just there, 66.
Good man. I'm getting directions here. Securing the main railway line between Cherbourg, Carentan and Paris. And these are bigger chaps. LSTs still delivering tanks onto the beach. And this is a beautiful church, and if you ever get down to Enniskillen, check this out. And there's an awful lot of military flags from the Enniskillen Fusiliers and the Enniskillen Dragoon Guards on display. Good man. Super duper. Purple Heart Lane, the causeway and only road from Utah Beach into Carentan. 4 rivers to cross. And then we've got Cole's bayonet charge, the last bayonet charge in modern warfare. My goodness. So the fighting was fierce, and it was grim. It was hand-to-hand fighting. Dead horses. Horses were used to pull the big guns to different locations. 8,000 were killed on D-Day. And there's something that's never really mentioned, but we have mentioned it recently in films like War Horse. And we've got Saint-Marie-du-Mont declares liberation. First village declares liberation. And the flags are out and the bunting's out. And this is Carentan Station bombed. And the track ripped up. The destruction was enormous. Columbaires, the first field hospital. From first aid stations, the wounded were taken here and then to Utah Beach to be shipped back to Weymouth and other ports. This is a living historical record of what transpired. And this display says, Jeeps. America didn't march, it drove. The automobile industry of America was one of the main factors for the victory. So everybody had a part to play. And the Jeep played an enormous role. All roads lead to Saint-Lô and Paris. And of course there was a race to get to Paris. The Americans wanted to be there first, and of course the British wanted to be there first. And there was all sorts of skullduggery went on to get there first. There were actual battalions formed just to deal with the dead. Temporary cemeteries were formed to bury the dead until 1945, when it was decided what would happen to them. There were so many soldiers killed. So many. Here's the story of Reg Alexander, a true story of a Screaming Eagle 101 whose parachute was on fire after his plane was hit. He spiraled out of control, smashing his legs. Local people tried to help him, but they were caught. And there he is. They were transporting him in the back of a hay wagon, but the Germans sussed it out and captured him. The cost to host the exhibition exceeds £7,000, including shipping costs from the mainland to Northern Ireland. A donation would be very much appreciated. So that's what we're encouraged to do. And here we have, coming up to the final few exhibits, Carentan Parade. It was believed the Germans had gone. Unfortunately, this little girl, Daniela, was dead 2 minutes after giving the flowers to the medics from Angoville. A stray German artillery unit was responsible. And some very, very sad stories. Houseville Paulette. Paulette is the little girl in the blue dress, is still alive, aged 93. This is the knitted version of that photograph being taken. My goodness. So most of these scenes are based on an actual photograph, and this is the little girl who is 93 today. Well, this year. Saint-Lô in ruins, flattened by the Allies. Saint-Lô was destroyed. 95% of the city was in ruins. The baby was born in the bombardment by Allied bombers. He today is the priest of the church in St Macartan. Boy, so the baby survived and is the priest in the local church today. Wow. And an American or Allied helmet on the beach. A remarkable exhibition. Come before the 28th of February and see this for yourself. It will not be returning to Northern Ireland as far as I know. If you've got an interest in World War II history, this is a must-see. And well done to St Macartan's Enniskillen, St Macartan's Cathedral Enniskillen for having the foresight and creativity and openness to put this exhibition, to give it a home for the thousands of visitors who have come to see this. And just to reinforce the military history associated with this wonderful church, and here we have a flag from the First World War. I'm not sure whether it's the Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers or whether it's the Royal Enniskillen Dragoon Guards flag, but certainly different locations in France are all mentioned. And my great uncle was killed just outside Le Cateau, which is mentioned here. And here we have got poppy wreath with various guys mentioned on it. And this book here, just in the case, lists every soldier in the Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers and the Royal Enniskillen Dragoon Guards. I believe it lists every soldier killed during that World War I conflict.
There's the Dragoon Guards one there.
Yes.
The Dragoon Guards flag.
Absolutely amazing, folks. Even whenever the exhibition is well away, come and check out this wonderful display of flags and memorabilia in the cathedral. And you'll even be very, very welcome on a Sunday morning for the Sunday service. And while there's no entrance fee to the longest yarn, a thread through history, you are encouraged to give at least a £5 donation, and also these books, these commemorative books, are offered for £10 each, and I would thoroughly recommend you get one of these. This little book is just chock-a-block with information about the exhibition, The Greatest Yarn, or The Longest Yarn, silly me. Packed full of photographs, and it's packed full of information about D-Day and the days following, or the build-up to D-Day and the days following. It talks about how the exhibition came about, and then it details every case, item, knitted or crocheted item, and you're given a photograph of each case, and you're also provided with a photograph of the ladies and information about the ladies who constructed the different 3D views that we have, and there's 80 of these. And I found this book a real bonus because it was full of information that you just wouldn't ordinarily get about the D-Day landings and the aftermath of them. Full of information. For example, did you know that there was only one VC won on June the 6th? I didn't know that, and it tells you about who won that VC, and it details so much information about all the major players in this extraordinary event. And there's the Casino d'Ostrom, and there's it in real life, and there's the ladies who actually crocheted and knitted this representation, and it goes through all of those 80 3D views that we have in each of the cases. There's the Dead Man's Corner, created by Alison Norrington, for example, and there's a picture of Alison, and there's the representation that she crocheted and knit, and then the Big Guns of Braecourt Manor, created by Jackie Britton. There's Jackie, and there's a photograph that she worked on, or worked from, and there's one of the big guns. You know, and it just goes right through all of this. There's 66, this LST delivering tanks onto the beach, onto Gold Beach. And this is a brilliant record. And there's the tanks being delivered by landing craft. There's Jean Wood, and she's created the first field hospital in Utah Beach area. And there's the photograph of it, and there's her representation of it in crocheting and knitting. And there's Carenton station is bombed, and there's the actual photograph, and there's Sandra Goodship, her 3D representation in knitting and crochet, and there's Sandra herself. But the information, the documentation, the detail that's offered to you here is just brilliant, and I haven't come across the majority of the details that are given in each of these about each of these pictures and representations. So get hold of one of these books when you come to view the exhibition.